So you'll find a lot of programs on the market that can claim they can keep your computer safe.
So which ones work and are worth using, and which ones should you avoid? Those are the questions we're putting to Thor Schrock in this week's Compute This.
Yeah, Thor Schrock owns Schrock Innovations. Good morning, Thor.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Good to
Pretty
see
good,
you.
pretty good. The crime-fighting computer duo that you need to keep your computer safe. There we go.
Schrock
Right.
and who? Do you have a partner? Crime-fighting partner?
You know, there's so many superhero jokes here for a guy named Thor. I'm just going to let that go, okay?
It is a great name.
The other day, I was at Hy-Vee, and the girl behind the counter, she was a few crayons short of a full box, I think. She just wasn't quite with it. And she said, "Thor, that's such a cool name. Is that your real name?" I'm like, "It's on my credit card." Yeah, that's my name. And how'd your parents get you that name? And I said, "Oh, well, you know, my mom wanted to name me Clark Kent, but my dad thought that was kind of a silly idea." Really? No, not really.
But why did they? You have to tell the story about why they named you Thor.
My dad's a joker. He opened up a Norse mythology book and went to the index and just, you know, Thor. And my mom said, "Okay."
Is that true?
And she said, "What?" Yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah, that's the real story.
That's great.
But as
All
far as
right.
keeping your computer safe,
Yes.
though,
What are the basics, though? What are the absolute basics you need to keep your computer safe?
over time, I mean, I remember when we started Schrock Innovations in the late 90s, not everybody had antivirus software. And we said, you have to have antivirus. You have to have antivirus. You still have to have antivirus software. You also need to have a good firewall program. A firewall is something that when the bad guys try to connect to your computer, the firewall can recognize certain types of connections as dangerous and just reject them. So they don't even get in. They don't even get the opportunity to infect your computer. And the third thing, the most recent thing, is you need a program or you need something that's going to keep that third-party software on your computer up to date. Your Flash, your Java. There was a new update for Java this morning. There was one 3 days before that. So if you just updated your Java a few days ago, you got to do it again. But how do you, unless you're, you know, a computer guy named Thor, you know, how do you know?
superhero.
Yeah,
So
superhero computer guy. How do you know?
What's the easiest way to do it?
Well, there are certain programs that we recommend at Schrock. One of them is Norton 360. We like Norton 360 because it's the antivirus and the firewall together in one product, and it only uses about 16 megabytes of memory. It's not like your daddy's Norton, you know, the Norton of the 90s and the early 2000s that you'd load it on your computer and your computer would just slow down. This stuff is fast and lean. It keeps the computer running smooth. The other thing we recommend, there's only really two products in the marketplace that keep your third-party software up to date. There's a free scanner that you can run called Secunia, S-E-C-U-N-I-A, Secunia, and that will scan your computer for outdated software and then give you links that you have to click on to go install it. Last time we tested the software, it was plagued by false positives. We talked about it one week on the radio show. A bunch of people used it, and then they updated their software, and then they scanned again, and it said the same software was out of date.
So it's free, but there's really not a guaranteed value on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have a paid version you can go with too. But the other one is Secure Updater. And there's a free download. You can install that for free for 14 days and try it out. So if you haven't installed Secure Updater, there are zero false positives. It is 100% accurate. You install it on the computer, and the average person is going to have between 9 and 12 programs out of date. The reason it's important to keep those up to date is when you go to a Google search and get some results, about 70% of those are going to be infection websites that you get. So you click on a result.
70%?
Yeah, 70%. You click on a result, especially if you're searching for something like, you know, Affordable Care Act or immigration bill or something that's current and trending in the news, Snowden, you know, anything like that.
Right.
You're going to get a lot of pages that have infection script on them. So if your Java is out of date and you just load that web page, a little script runs in the background. It's called clickjacking, kind of like carjacking except with a computer. You don't know what's happening. It just happens right in the background, and all of a sudden your computer is sending out a beacon saying, "Come infect me."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not fun.
So that's the dangers of not updating. What other programs do you have to be concerned about? I mean, Java is one of the main ones where you got to download the updates. What other ones?
The big ones are Java and Flash. Those are the two you have to handle. Next on the list would probably be the Adobe Reader program. A lot of people underestimate the value of keeping your Adobe Reader up to date, especially during tax season and things like that, because a lot of PDFs are flying around. If you don't have an up-to-date Adobe Reader, it's possible to have an infected Adobe document show up on your desktop from email. You click on it to open it because you think it's from your accountant, but it's really infecting your computer. Now, if you have Norton, that's one filter. If you have a firewall, that's another filter. If you have Secure Updater, even if you go to the attack websites, they'll say you're up to date, so we can't attack you.
So
which brings up another question. Don't download any attachments unless you know exactly who they're from.
Most modern computers now download them all automatically. You don't have to decide anymore.
You mentioned Secure Updater is free the first few weeks. What's the cost after that if you decide you want to keep it?
The initial purchase is right around $49.99 for Secure Updater.
For how long?
For 1 year.
Okay.
And then after that, it's about $25 a year to renew. It comes out to be about $2 a month.
So we're looking at information here at SchrockInnovations.com, 3 locations. Is there a separate website for Secure Updater that you'd send our viewers to?
Yeah, for Secure Updater, you can go to secureupdater.com. There's also a link from Schrock Innovations there you can check out as well.
Great. Making life easy on us, Thor.
Good stuff, Thor.
Thank you for sharing the story of your name as well. That's
Thanks,
fun.
guys.
We appreciate it.